been in a storm, a real storm, the kind where the wind is howling, the rain is beating down, and the whole world seems like it's shaking around you? What do? You don't fight the storm. You wait. You stay still. You stay silent. Because the storm always passes. Life will shake you. Life will test you. It will throw noise, distractions, doubts, and fears at you. It will make you believe you have to chase, to fight, to struggle for everything you want. But I'm here to tell you something that will change the way you see your journey. Stay silent. Everything will come to you naturally. Have you ever noticed how the loudest person in the room is usually the weakest? They talk and talk, trying to prove something, trying to convince the world that they matter. But real strength, real confidence doesn't have to announce itself. It just is. Think about the ocean. The surface may crash with waves roaring with fury, but beneath that, stillness, power, depth. That's what true strength looks like. Not in the noise, not in the chaos, but in the quiet, control beneath it all. The world teaches you that you have to be seen, that you have to be loud, that you have to constantly put yourself out there to be recognized. But that's not where greatness is built. Greatness is built in silence, in the moments when nobody is watching, in the sacrifices nobody sees, in the early mornings and late nights when you're working on yourself, developing your mind, sharpening your skills, and staying focused while everyone else is distracted by the noise of the world. Silence is misunderstood. People think being silent means being weak. They think that if you're not speaking up, you're being overlooked. But that's not true. Silence is a weapon. It's a strategy. It's the space where discipline is born. When you learn to be silent, you learn to listen. And when you learn to listen, you gain power. Power over your emotions, power over your reactions, power over the way the world affects you. Because the moment you master your silence, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, there is nothing that can stop you. Look at the most dangerous warriors in history, the most skilled fighters, the strongest minds. They don't move with arrogance. They don't announce their every move. They stay composed. They stay focused. They let their actions do the talking. And when the time comes, they strike with precision, without hesitation, without wasting energy. That's how you have to move in life. With patience, with control, with intention. The reason silence is strength is because it forces you to trust yourself. When you're silent, you stop looking for validation. You stop seeking approval. You stop wasting energy trying to prove something to people who don't even matter. You become your own source of confidence. You become unshakable. And let me tell you something. When you don't react to the noise around you, you become a mystery. People don't know what you're thinking. They don't know what you're planning. They don't know what's coming next. That's power. Because while they're busy running their mouths trying to figure you out, you're already 10 steps ahead. The greatest moves in history weren't broadcasted. They were made in silence. The biggest transformations didn't happen in front of an audience. They happened behind closed doors. The strongest people aren't the ones shouting their strength from the rooftops. They are the ones who stay calm in the face of adversity, who stay focused when everything around them is chaotic, who don't break under pressure, because they know who they are. You don't have to announce your pain to the world. You don't have to tell everybody what you're working on. You don't have to prove to anyone that you're getting better, that you're grinding, that you're becoming something greater. Let them doubt you. Let them think you're doing nothing. Because when the time comes, when you rise, when you step into the moment you've been preparing for, they won't see it coming. Silence makes you unpredictable. Silence makes you dangerous. Silence makes you powerful. And that's why the strongest ones are the ones who don't speak unless they have to, because they don't waste their energy, They don't waste their words. They don't waste their time trying to convince anyone of anything. They just move. They just act. They just become. That's the difference between the ones who talk about success and the ones who actually achieve it. One makes noise, the other moves in silence and gets things done. You spend so much time worrying if you're on the right path, worrying if you're doing enough, worrying if the things you dream about will ever happen for you. And that fear, that doubt, that anxiety, it eats at you. It makes you believe that if you don't chase, if you don't force, if you don't control every little thing, then somehow you're going to miss out. But life doesn't work like that. Everything that is meant for you, every opportunity, every blessing, every moment of greatness, it already has your name on it. It is already written. It is already set in motion. The only thing you have to do is be ready. So many people spend their lives chasing approval, chasing love, chasing success. They run themselves into the ground trying to make things happen on their timeline, thinking that if they don't control every little detail, then everything will fall apart. But control is an illusion. You don't have to force what was already meant to be yours. Look at the river. The river doesn't chase the ocean. It flows naturally, knowing it will get there when the time is right. The sun doesn't beg the morning to come. It rises when it's meant to rise. The trees don't run after the seasons, demanding that the leaves change faster. Everything happens in its own time, exactly as it should. And yet you think you have to rush. You think you have to force. You think that if you don't have it right now, then you're failing. But you're not failing. You're becoming. You're growing into the person who will be ready for what's coming. What's meant for you will find you when you are prepared to receive it, not when you demand it, not when you think you deserve it, but when you are truly ready. Because if you get something too soon, before you have the wisdom, the strength, the discipline to handle it, it will slip right through your fingers. There's a reason things don't always happen when you want them to. That rejection, that closed door, that delay, it's not a punishment, it's protection. It's life telling you, not yet. Because if you got it now, you wouldn't know what to do with it. People rush into relationships thinking love will fix them. But love is not meant to complete you. It's meant to complement you. And if you don't know who you are before love comes, you will lose yourself when it arrives. People chase money thinking wealth will bring them peace. But money doesn't fix an undisciplined mind. Money doesn't erase self-doubt. If you don't have the wisdom to manage a little, you won't know how to handle a lot. People beg for success, thinking the title, the achievement, the status will make them happy. But success does not create happiness. Happiness comes from within. And if you are not fulfilled before success, you will not be fulfilled after it. You have to trust the process. You have to trust the waiting. You have to trust that what is meant for you will come when you are strong enough, wise enough, and disciplined enough to handle it. Some doors stay closed because you are not meant to walk through them. Some people leave your life because they were not meant to stay. Some opportunities pass you by because something greater is on its way. And you don't see it now, but one day you will look back and understand. The moment you stop chasing is the moment you start attracting. The moment you stop begging is the moment you start receiving. The moment you stop forcing is the moment life flows naturally in your favor. The only thing you have to do is keep becoming the version of yourself that is ready. Keep growing, keep learning, keep preparing, because when the time is right, when the moment is meant for you, nothing will be able to stop it from finding you. Everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to be recognized. People want applause before they've done the work. They want credit before they've paid the price. They want the world to notice them, to validate them, to say, yes, you're doing great. But that's not how greatness is built. That's not how success happens. Success doesn't come from telling people what you're going to do. It comes from doing it. From locking in, from shutting out the noise, from getting up every single day and working even when nobody sees it. The loudest person in the room is rarely the strongest. The ones who brag, the ones who talk about how hard they're grinding, the ones who feel the need to announce every little step, they're not doing it for themselves. They're doing it for attention. And attention does not build success. Work does. The greatest moves in history weren't announced, they were prepared for. The biggest victories weren't won in front of a crowd, they were won in silence. The training, the discipline, the lonely nights, the sacrifices that nobody saw. That's where greatness is built, but most people don't want to wait. They don't want to work in the dark. They want the spotlight before they're ready to stand in it. They want the rewards without the struggle. And that's why so many never make it. Because they don't understand that real success is quiet. The process is quiet. You don't need to tell anyone what you're doing. You don't need to announce your every move. Just work, just build, just improve. Because when success comes, it will speak for itself. The tree doesn't make noise while it's growing. It doesn't beg people to look at it. It just takes in the sunlight. It just strengthens its roots. And one day, it stands tall, unshakable. The athlete doesn't become great by showing off every training session. They don't post every struggle, every drop of sweat, every late night workout. They just show up. They just put in the work. And then one day, when the world is watching, they perform. And people call it talent, but they don't see the thousands of hours that came before that moment. The entrepreneur doesn't succeed by telling the world their plans before they've executed them. They don't waste energy trying to prove themselves to people who aren't even paying attention. They focus, they build, they invest in their craft. And then one day the world wakes up and sees what they've created. But too many people want to skip the silence. They want to skip the unseen work. They want to be noticed before they're even ready. And that's why they fail. Because success is not built on noise. It's built on patience. It's built on dedication. It's built in the moments when nobody is clapping for you, when nobody is watching, when nobody even knows what you're doing. And that's where most people give up. Because they don't get the validation. They don't get the instant gratification. They don't get the approval they think they need. But if you can learn to love the silence, if you can learn to thrive in it, to embrace it, to understand that this is where real success is born, then nothing can stop you. The ones who make it, the ones who truly reach the top, don't care about the noise. They don't care about the attention. They don't care about proving anything to anyone. They care about the work. They care about the craft. They care about getting better every single day. And that's why when the success finally arrives, it's undeniable. It's unshakable. It's unstoppable. Because it wasn't built on hype. It was built on discipline. It was built on focus. It was built in the silence. So stop worrying about who's watching. Stop waiting for validation. Stop thinking you need to be seen to be successful. Just put in the work. Just grind. Just prepare. Because when the time comes, when your moment arrives, your success will speak so loudly that the whole world will have no choice but to listen. There will come a day when everything you've been working for, everything you've been praying for, everything you've been waiting for will finally arrive. The opportunity, the breakthrough, the moment where life says it's time. But the question is, Will you be ready? Too many people want success, but they don't prepare for it. They want greatness, but they don't sharpen their skills. They dream about the big stage, but they don't train in the small, quiet rooms where no one is watching. They talk about what they're going to do, but when the moment comes, when the opportunity knocks, they freeze. Not because they're unlucky, not because the world is against them, but because they weren't ready. The truth is, your moment is coming, whether you're prepared or not. And if you're not prepared, it will pass you by. The door will open, but you won't have the strength to walk through it. The chance will come, but you won't have the discipline to seize it. The world will give you what you've been asking for, but you won't be able to hold on to it because you never built the foundation strong enough to sustain it. Success is not about luck. It's about preparation meeting opportunity. The problem is most people focus only on the opportunity. They want the results. They want the rewards. They want the victory. But they ignore the preparation. And that's why they fail. Not because they weren't capable, but because they didn't do the work before their time arrived. You don't become great when the lights are on. You become great when nobody is watching. You don't suddenly rise to the occasion when the moment comes. You fall to the level of your preparation. The athlete doesn't win the championship because of what they did that night. They win because of the hours, the years, the unseen work that came before it. The artist doesn't perform with excellence because they're lucky. They do it because they prepared for years before anyone ever gave them a stage. Life will test you long before it blesses you. It will put you through challenges, setbacks, and struggles, not to break you, but to prepare you, because what's meant for you is too big, too important, too powerful to be given to someone who is not ready to carry it. You have to train before the battle. You have to sharpen your mind before the opportunity comes. You have to put in the work before the world ever sees you. Because when the moment arrives, it will be too late to prepare. You won't have time to build confidence, to develop discipline, to master your craft. You will either be ready or you won't. Every great success story is built in the dark, before the world knew their names, before the crowd showed up, before the applause, before the spotlight. There was a season of preparation, a season where nobody believed in them, a season where they had to keep pushing, keep grinding, keep believing in themselves when no one else did. Most people quit in that season. They get tired, they get discouraged, they stop working because they don't see immediate results. But the ones who make it, the ones who step into their moment and own it, are the ones who kept preparing even when it felt like nothing was happening. They didn't wait for motivation. They didn't wait for the world to give them permission. They just kept going. Your moment is coming. The door will open. The opportunity will arrive. But if you are not ready, if you did not prepare, if you wasted your time waiting instead of working, that moment will slip through your fingers. So train now, work now, build now, because when the time comes, there will be no second chances. The world will not wait for you to catch up. You either rise or you get left behind. There's a plan for you, a plan bigger than what you can see right now, a plan unfolding in ways you don't even realize. But the problem is, you want to control it. You want to rush it. You want it all to happen now. And because it's not happening on your timeline, you start doubting, you start questioning if it will ever happen at all. But life doesn't work on your schedule. It moves at its own pace. And the more you try to force it, the more frustrated you become. Because no matter how much you push, no matter how much you try to control, you cannot rush what's meant to take time. Look around you, look at nature. The seasons don't change because you want them to. The sun doesn't rise because you command it. The tides don't move because you demand it. Everything happens when it's meant to, at the exact moment it's supposed to, whether you understand it or not. And the same is true for your life. You think you're behind. You think you should have made it by now. You look at other people at their success and how far ahead they seem, and you start comparing. You start feeling like you're failing, like you missed your chance, like you're running out of time. But you're not late. You're not behind. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. What's meant for you is still coming. The doors that need to open will open. The opportunities that belong to you will find you. But they won't come a second sooner than they're supposed to. You have to understand something. If you get something too soon, before you're ready to handle it, it won't last. You may want success right now, but can you carry the weight of it? You may want love right now, but are you the person who can sustain it? You may want the breakthrough, the opportunity, the victory, but do you have the discipline to hold on to it once you get it? Life knows when you're ready. Life knows when to give you what you've been working for. And if you don't have it yet, it's not because you're not good enough. It's not because you've been forgotten. It's because something greater is still being built. But you have to trust it. You have to trust that every delay is for a reason. Every closed door is protecting you. Every setback is preparing you, because there is no wasted time in the hands of the universe. Every second, every struggle, every lesson is shaping you into the person you need to be for what's coming next. Look back at your life. Think about all the times you wanted something so badly, but it didn't happen. And now, standing where you are today, you see why. You see what needed to happen first. You see how you had to grow, how you had to heal, how you had to go through certain things to be strong enough, wise enough, ready enough. It's hard to see it in the moment. It's hard to believe it when you're in the waiting season. But one day, you'll understand why it had to happen this way. So breathe, stop rushing, stop thinking you're falling behind, stop comparing your journey to someone else's. Your story is yours alone, your timing is yours alone, and what's coming for you is far greater than anything you can imagine. Just trust it. Trust that you are being guided. Trust that everything is happening exactly as it should. Trust that one day, when you finally step into your moment, it will all make sense. The world moves fast. Everything around you is built on speed, quick success, instant gratification, overnight results. And because of that, you've been conditioned to believe that if it doesn't happen fast, it's not happening at all. But that's not the truth. That's not how real success is built. That's not how greatness is created. The strongest people in this world are not the ones who rush, they are the ones who wait. The ones who understand that patience is not weakness, it's power. Patience is the ability to keep going when there are no signs that anything is working. It's the ability to show up day after day, even when there's no applause, no validation, no results in sight. It's the ability to trust a process when everything in you wants to quit. Most people who don't have patience, they want results now. They want success now. And when they don't see it immediately, they get discouraged. They start looking for shortcuts. They start comparing themselves to others. They start questioning whether it's worth it. And that's when they give up. Right before their breakthrough, right before their moment, right before everything was about to fall into place. Patience is what separates those who make it from those who don't. It's not about who is the most talented. It's not about who got the best opportunity. It's about who was willing to endure the wait. Who was willing to plant the seed, water it every single day, and trust that one day it would grow, no matter how long it took. You don't plant a tree today and expect it to be fully grown tomorrow. You don't go to the gym once and expect to be strong overnight. You don't build a business, a career, or a legacy in a matter of weeks. Everything meaningful, everything worth having takes time. And that's where most people fail. They quit too soon. They stop believing in themselves too early. They don't realize that patience isn't just about waiting. It's about how you wait. What are you doing in the waiting season? Are you still working? Are you still improving? Are you still showing up even when it feels like nothing is happening? Because if you are already ahead of most people. Every great success story has a season of patience. Every champion, every legend, every person you admire had to go through a period where nothing seemed to be working. They had to face doubt. They had to fight through uncertainty. They had to keep pushing when the world gave them every reason to stop. Patience is what keeps you moving when everything else tells you to slow down. It's what gives you strength when it feels like nothing is changing. It's what allows you to build something real, something lasting, something unshakable. Most people fear patience because they think waiting means wasting time, but patience is not passive, it's active. It's in the waiting that you develop discipline. It's in the waiting that you grow. It's in the waiting that you become the kind of person who is ready for the success that's coming. Because success that comes too soon can destroy you. A blessing that arrives before you're ready can slip right through your hands. You think you want it now, but if you don't have the strength, the wisdom, the experience to hold on to it, it won't last. Patience is power because it teaches you resilience. It shows you who you really are when things aren't easy. It builds something in you that nothing and no one can take away. It gives you an edge, an advantage, a foundation so strong that when your time finally comes, you don't just rise, you stay there. So don't rush, don't chase, don't let the world convince you that faster is better. Because the strongest, the wisest, the most successful people are the ones who understand that the longer you wait, the stronger you become. The longer you endure, the more unshakable you are. The longer you trust the process, the greater the reward will be in the end. The world you see around you is a reflection of the energy you carry within you, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you move through life. It all determines what you attract. If you walk around with doubt, fear, and negativity, life will mirror that right back to you. But if you carry confidence, belief, and determination, you'll start to see doors open, opportunities appear, and success move in your direction. Most people don't realize how much power they have over their own lives. They think life is just happening to them, that they are at the mercy of circumstances, that they have no control. But the truth is, life is always responding to you. The energy you put out is shaping your reality, whether you realize it or not. If you wake up every day expecting problems, you'll find them. If you constantly talk about how hard life is, how nothing ever works out for you, how the odds are stacked against you, guess what? That's exactly what life will continue to show you. Because your mind will always look for proof of what you believe. If you believe the world is unfair, you will find every reason to confirm that. If you believe you're unlucky, your focus will always land on what's going wrong, and before you know it, you created a reality where struggle is all you see. But it works the other way too. If you wake up believing that good things are on their way, if you choose to see possibilities instead of obstacles, if you carry the energy of someone who knows they are destined for more, life will start shifting in your favor. You will notice opportunities you never saw before. You will attract people who align with your vision. You will find yourself in the right places at the right time, doing the right things, not because of luck, but because your energy is pulling those things toward you. This is not about pretending life is perfect. This is not about ignoring problems. This is about choosing to operate from a mindset of power instead of weakness. It's about understanding that the way you think, speak, and act is shaping the life you live. If you want success, you have to think like a successful person before success arrives. If you want love, you have to carry the energy of someone who is already whole. If you want respect, you have to move through life as someone who respects themselves. You don't wait for life to give it to you. You become it first. That's why some people always seem to win. It's not because they have more talent. It's not because they have better luck. It's because they expect it. They carry themselves with an energy that tells the world, I belong here. I am worthy of success. I am going to make it no matter what. And because they believe it, the world reflects it back to them. On the other hand, people who carry fear, doubt, and insecurity end up attracting situations that reinforce those feelings. They let their past dictate their future. They let failure define them. They assume things will go wrong, so they never even try. And in doing so, they create the very reality they're afraid of. Your energy is a magnet. It is constantly pulling things towards you. People, experiences, opportunities, even challenges. If you don't like what you're attracting, don't blame the world. Look at yourself. Look at your thoughts. Look at your habits. Look at your beliefs. Because those are the things shaping your reality. You cannot have a positive life with a negative mindset. You cannot attract success while constantly doubting yourself. You cannot step into greatness while carrying the energy of someone who is afraid to fail. You have to become what you want to receive. You have to carry the energy of the person you are becoming, not the person you were. So shift your energy. Stop waiting for external changes. Change internally first. Speak differently. Move differently. Think differently. Because once your energy shifts, everything around you will follow. Stop explaining yourself to people who don't believe in you. Stop trying to prove yourself to those who only see your past. Stay silent. Work in silence. Build in silence. Grow in silence. Because when the time comes, when your moment arrives, the world will have no choice but to listen. The greatest moves in history weren't announced. They were prepared for. So be still, be patient, be ready. Everything meant for you will come to you naturally. Now go, walk in that truth, and let life bring you what's already yours.